What's going on, y'all? I'm Caleb with Cypress Spring. So I've always done secular music my entire life. I've always done secular music. I signed a record label when I was 21 with it was a subsidiary from Young Jeezy. It was a Big Ticket Entertainment. I was with them for like a year or so, and then I wound up running into, or actually Average Joe's Entertainment contacted me. I put a song on YouTube. They found it, and they wanted to sit down. So I got out of my first contract, signed a contract with Average Joe's. I've been with them going on probably close to 10 years now. I've always done secular music, touring and everything. I'm married. I've got 2 kids, so I would be on tour. Really not the best person, you know. And one day I come home off tour. Matter of fact, it was Thanksgiving 3 years ago. I come home off tour. My wife picked me up. We got to the house, and I left for tour, and I was like 171 pounds. I got home and I was 192 pounds. My wife was like, "Man, you've been going to the gym." I was like, "No, I've been drinking a lot." So I quit drinking. Like, that was like the moment where I was like, okay, we got to do something different. So me and her, we're sitting at the house and watching a live stream of a church that I've been to before. Like, I kind of grew up in church, but then I got out of church whenever I got older. So me and her, we're sitting there watching it, and they had revival going on, and me and her just got to talk. I was like, "Man, let's go to church." No clue why. I was like, let's just go to church. So we packed up. Service was already started. So like, we packed up. We walk in church. We sit down, and after church, sit through the whole thing. Man, whatever. Altar call happened. So me and my wife, we look at each other and we're like, let's go down to the altar. So we walk down there to the altar, and there's this guy. He's preaching. We have no clue where he's from. He's like from another state. He's an evangelist. So he comes down there and he's like, "So where are you from, or what do you do?" And I'm like, "I'm a lineman." And he's like, "No, what do you really do, or would you, like, rather me prophesy over you?" And I'm like, "Man, I have no clue how this works, so whatever you want to do." So he starts prophesying like ministry over my life and music and my family as well, and I'm like, starts telling me everything that I've been through, and then like up to the point where I'm at right now, and I'm like, dude, man, like, this dude's good. Like, I don't know who told him all this, but like, okay, good job. So we get out of church, we leave. They have a revival the next night. My wife's like, "Look, we got to go back." So I'm like, okay. So we go back to church, sit through another church service. They got another pastor from another state that flew in that morning to preach. So altar call gets done. We go back down there to the altar. Man, this dude walks over here to me, and he just like starts prophesying like ministry and music. And I'm like, dude, this is the second time, I'm like, okay. So revival ends. I tell my wife, I'm like, we got to go back. We got to get back in church. So we start going like to my home church, and we get over there. And as soon as I walk in the door, like the next week, I think, dude, we had a revival there. Another dude from 10 states away shows up. He preaches a message, call everybody down there to the altar. He's talking to everybody, and then he just stops, looks at me, comes over there, and then he just like starts prophesying, like music and ministry. And I'm like, dude, the third time's a charm, like, I'm not like biblically, like knowledgeable on everything. I'm in the process of still learning all that, but I know like everything, like it works in threes, like, so I figured the third time, like somebody saying that over me, I was like, okay, it's getting a little serious now. So we get into church, and we get heavy into church. I start helping run sound for church, and then the praise and worship leader, she's like, "Hey, don't you play guitar?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I play guitar." So she's like, "Okay, you want to play guitar?" So next thing I know, I'm playing guitar at church. And it just, one thing led to a next. And as like I progressed in my faith and in Christianity, like I got to talking to my wife, and I was like, "Man, I've done secular music my whole time, my whole life. I think I'm going to start doing Christian music." And so we prayed about it. And finally I got, I got some more confirmation. And so I sent an email to the record label, and I was like, I knew they weren't going to let me do Christian music because it's a secular label. So I'm like, "Look, I would like to resign from my contract, and I want to start doing Christian music." So Forrest from the label, he actually calls me, and he's like, "Dude, what are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Well, I want to do Christian music, and I know it's, like Average Joe's is a secular label, so it'd be kind of hard. So, I just want to like step down from my label." And he's like, "Man, if you want to do Christian music, like I've told you from the beginning, like one thing like I'll never come in between is, like your family and your faith. So if you want to do Christian music, by all means, do Christian music, and, like whatever it takes to keep you as an artist." So, man, that meant a lot for a secular label to be like, okay. we're gonna let you do Christian music, you know, and like we'll try it and we'll see how it goes. So I get off the phone with him and I run in there and I tell my wife, I'm like, baby, they're gonna let me do Christian music. And that was a really major turning point. So like I sat down and started writing music, and then we actually Joe, my manager, me and him, like we linked up whenever I decided to like start doing Christian music, and he got some beats for me. We got in the studio or did some writing, and then we got in the studio and released my first single was titled Rebel Reborn, and then we did an EP, Rebel Reborn, that has 5 songs on it, and that pretty much led me to where I'm at right now. This first song right here is going to be titled Out Here. It's actually the transition song that got me from secular music to Christian music, so we still wanted to not completely confuse everybody and ease them into Jesus instead of kind of run them off, so we'll see what y'all think. We gon' do a thing out here. Yeah, we gon' make it bang out here. Yeah, there ain't nothing changed out here. It's the same old same out here. Yeah, we still on the grind, still working 9 to 5. Get it how we live, country boy way of life. And they ain't giving up, go hard when they get tough. If we up in the building, then they ain't no giving up. Man, don't expect nothing for free, better go out and work hard to put that dinner on the table, better bless it by God. I learned my lesson, I was stressing, I ain't trying to starve. I'm trying to see how many boats I can fit in my garage. I'm tripping, let me stop kidding, I'm just having some fun. Ain't nothing like catching the bass, but baby, catching some sun. Somewhere way out in the country, probably shooting some guns. I'm flying 60 in a beater, got them deer on the run. I said, I don't know what you heard about me. Country to the bone, that's the way it's gotta be. You can keep them city lights, I prefer it on the creek. You can't take me out the country or the country out of me. Yeah, we gon' do a thing out here. And we gon' make it bang out here. And there ain't nothing changed out here. It's the same old same out here. Yeah, we still on the grind, still working 9 to 5. Get it how we live, country boy way of life. And they ain't giving up, go hard when they get to. If we up in the building, then they ain't no giving up. Man, they ain't no giving up. Keep your head held high, looking up. I'm just trying to figure if I'm really out here good enough. I remember coming up, dreaming of a big old bus. Now I'd rather fly, hit the road in a pickup truck. They something about them back roads, they something about the windows down. It does something to my soul when the music is playing loud. So I'ma just turn it up, I'ma just live it up. Don't put me inside a box, cause buddy, I tear it up. Said, I don't know what you heard about me. Country to the bone, that's the way it's gotta be. You can keep them city lights, I prefer it on the creek. You can't take me out the country or the country out of me. Yeah, we gon' do a thing out here. And we gon' make it bang out here. And there ain't nothing changed out here. It's the same old same out here. Yeah, we still on the grind, still working 9 to 5. Get it how we live, country boy way of life. And they ain't giving up, go hard when they get tough. If we up in the building, then they ain't no giving up.